And they like, well, this affects his reputation and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you know, if he goes through the trial, because when they say like a money grab, it's not a money grab to me. It's more like if somebody comes to me and says, yo, I'm accusing you of raping a 13-year-old and you want to settle, it's like, that's unsettlable. If it didn't happen, I'm not settling that because it's like saying you admitted to doing something. I wouldn't, that's an offer that you just can't, you can't settle on some allegation like that. You know, you got to take that to trial, to me. You know, that's how I would look at it. So I don't think this lawyer came with the intention of thinking that, you know, someone like Homeboy was going to settle. And then you have to actually prove it. So what happens is, and this is from my personal experience, you know, first they try to dismiss it, but that never happens. It's just, to me, a procedure so lawyers get paid. And then you have to have discovery, and then there's the deposition. So there's where it could be problematic because either way, if this case goes forward, there will be a deposition. And that's where you can ask that person anything about anything, and that's where a lot of other things can happen, and you can't lie. Because that's the purpose of a deposition, is if you say something that's not true and then they prove it, now your word is discredited. You impeach yourself. So that's the purpose of a deposition, to get you to say something on paper and say something different in the courtroom. And then, okay, and then that's what happens.
The Jay-Z scandal. So recent allegations against Jay-Z have surfaced as part of a refiled lawsuit accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl in 2000 at an MTV Video Music Awards after party. The accuser, referred to as Jane Doe, claims she was drugged and assaulted at a house party after being transported by a limousine driver who allegedly worked with Diddy. The lawsuit also includes claims against Diddy, who faces multiple legal challenges and criminal charges for unrelated allegations. Now, Jay-Z has vehemently denied the allegations, describing them as heinous and urging the accuser to file criminal charges if the claims are true, rather than pursuing a civil lawsuit. He also accused the plaintiff's lawyer of attempting extortion through a demand letter and expressed his intent to defend himself publicly.
I do know that 13-year-olds can be and have been sexually assaulted. That's number one. This lady, this Jane Doe, if I'm doing the math correctly, she was 13 in 2000, which makes her about what, 37, 38, give or take, right? This right now. The statute of limitations, because she was 13, they really don't apply because she can file as a minor below 16, then she still has, I don't know, standing. I guess that's what they would call it.
Right.
However, I do have a problem with all of this time going by and then all of these accusations are coming out. Is it possible? It's possible, considering what we know, what we believe to have gone on with the Diddy parties and things like that. So it's very possible. In no way, shape, or form am I accusing Jay-Z or even Diddy of doing anything. I'm just setting up the bigger framework. 13-year-olds can be, will be, have been, unfortunately, sexually assaulted by predators. And we know a lot of this stuff goes on in the rap culture, particularly I call it the hard rap. It's different rap than when I grew up. But things like that do go on in the Hollywood industry. But my question would be, at 13 years old, where were her parents? Why was she at this party?
Thank you. That's
with these adults doing all of these adult things. Where were her parents or whoever, the guardian? Where were they?
I'm not sure if he did it or not. But here are three things that stand out to me. One, Jay-Z is quite the wordsmith. So you can anticipate him swinging for the fences in his denial.
I was definitely surprised at the long statement because, I've been to court with Homeboy and he doesn't say anything. He never responds. He has his lawyer speak. So I know that it must bother him because he actually said something in the length of the statement, And it was funny because Honor Up just came out the night before, and I'm hearing words like honor in the statement. But again, for me, I have nothing to do with it, and I'm trying to look at it objectively like everyone else is. when I saw the initial extortion case, what was said was that multiple lawsuits were threatened. And it included men and kids and all type of shit. So I'm like, damn. You know, for me, just based on what I'm seeing, it must mean, you know, they lining them up for more lawsuits. At least this is what it looks like based on that paperwork. And I'm like, I really didn't think. It's just crazy how one day everything, it's like, this is like the epitome, it was all good just a week ago. And, you know, I just never seen homeboy explain himself, ever. So that was different for me.
And he's saying, bring the criminal case. But I'm going to tell you, locking him up for 6 months ain't nothing compared to tapping him in his pocket. Money is how you hurt millionaires, billionaires. But, you know, I feel for him in that fame brings all of these kind of people out of the woodwork. This is not the first time Jay-Z has been wrapped up in some sort of scandal and innuendo. You got that big thing with Aaliyah, him and Dame Dash, quote unquote, maybe perhaps allegedly stabbing Rivera back in the early part of his career. Has come out recently and said, oh no, it wasn't Jay. But we don't know that. Right. So we know that this particular entertainment culture, age ain't nothing but a number, to quote Aaliyah, right? The problem that we have is, why would you let your 13-year-old go to an MTV after party? Why? One, she can't drink.
Right. What is she doing? Right. What are they doing?
So I get there are some girls that, you know, back in the day we used to call them fast or whatever. Maybe she's an emancipated person. Maybe her parents are industry people. And bad things happen. And I hate to keep harping on Aaliyah, you know, may her soul rest in peace. But this is how she got hooked up into this foolishness with R. Kelly, right? A young girl, fresh on the scene, in a room full of predators. And she's not the only one.
Yeah.
So it's hard to discern whether or not it's true. The damage to his reputation has already happened. It doesn't matter how much he denies it. He's going to have to talk to his wife, his family, his children, so that they understand kind of what's going to happen if anything happens. This is why you see people just paying him off, because it's easier to keep him quiet.
It's cheaper too.
Pete Hegseth did that with the woman who accused him of rape. He says, no, it was consensual. You know, it was easy breezy, lemon squeezy, but it's cheaper to get her off of his case.
Absolutely.
They say that this girl at 13 signed, or Shawn or Diddy wanted her to sign a non-disclosure agreement. 13-year-olds don't have standing to sign said agreement.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very very mysterious, very curious as to what's going on. A couple things I have. So one, we know that Jay-Z and P. Diddy have been friends for a long time, a very long time, close friends and business associates. So my first comment on this is, if he didn't do it, then why was he hanging around Diddy for all these years, many years, doing business with him? He hung out at his parties, all sorts of things. He did not, you know, he knew something. If he didn't do it, you know, he knew something. So if he didn't do anything, why would he continue to hang around somebody that's doing all this, abusing women, you know, allegedly hanging out with underage children, having sex with underage women and men? So why would he continue to hang around somebody like that? You know, if I knew somebody who was doing that type of stuff, and you know he knew, you know, these rumors have been going around for many, many, many years, since the 90s. Why would you continue to hang around him? Why wouldn't you separate yourself from this person? And we're not just talking about Diddy. We know that R. Kelly was doing it, and he has been convicted of it. And those three were very good friends. So that's first. Secondly, we know Jay-Z, there were rumors circulating for many years how Jay-Z was dating Foxy Brown when she was 16, allegedly. There was rumors circulating allegedly that he dated Aaliyah. You know, I think it was before R. Kelly dated her. Aaliyah at the time was 15 years old. You know, when she died, she was 22, and she was dating his very good friend, Damon Dash. So to me, everything is a little too close to say, I didn't do anything. I wasn't a part of anything. It's too close from comfort for me. And to me, what's the saying?
Lay down with the dogs, you get up with fleas.
He's got fleas in those trays. He's got fleas. So, he can deny all he wants to, but something in the buttermilk ain't clean.
Well, I agree with you. And one of the things I think you're definitely right about, KJ, is nobody who ever attended a Diddy party walked away saying, well, boy, that was a great party, nice and wholesome. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got me a goodie bag to take home with me. No, they knew it was absolute debauchery. Star after star after star said, oh, no, you never stay at Diddy's parties after 11, 12, because, it goes down, when it gets too late. If you knew that, why continue? You know why? The price of fame.
I was gonna say, we talked about the other day about like parents living through their children. Again, I don't know if this young lady or girl, or I'm not saying that they did or didn't, but parents, they are so hell-bent on having their children be famous and whatever, in touch, or 7 degrees of separation with these stars, 6, whatever it is, but they sacrifice. This is another way you sacrifice your children. This is another way you sacrifice your children.
Doesn't it make you think, though, when you think about all of these Disney stars who got to young adulthood and just like broke into thousands of little pieces? It seems so, I don't know what it is about going through that process, even with parents who protect you. Aaliyah's uncle was a music executive. I mean, very popular music executive. And she still fell prey to a predator at 12 years old, if the R. Kelly documentary is to be believed, right? There's something about the way Hollywood allows itself to operate with impunity, raping children, pillaging women and men. There's that.
Yeah, I mean, they were busting the men behinds wide open.
There's something to be.
It's something. I would say this. It's something about Hollywood, absolutely. But I also have to say, it's something about the people or the individuals. There's a desire to whatever, more or less, for all of us. What's the cheer song? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
And I think that desire is in all of us, again, to different degrees, and then to different things that maybe we might be willing to do to get somebody to know our name. So I think it's both, but I always draw the line at minors and children. They don't have the wherewithal or the right to make those decisions. Even if this 13-year-old was at that party, and again, I'm asking where are her parents, even if she was there, and if she was assaulted by Jay-Z or Diddy or whomever, I still will blame the adults. Because they knew she was young. No, I'm just saying. I'm blaming all the adults. Again, I don't think she shouldn't have been there. She should not have been there.
They say that there was a woman in the room, another female celebrity,
a groomer
in the room who saw the whole thing. But using the unfortunate, quote unquote, logic of the left, if an 18-month-old can change his or her gender, 13, you are old woman. You are old maid. You better find you a celebrity and lay down somewhere, right?
It's sick.
This whole defective thought process cannot be normalized in the American public.
But this is what they're trying to do. When we talk about the idea of sexuality and the fact that they are trying to push sexuality on our children in schools as young as kindergarten, when they are actually saying that 1.5-year-olds can change their gender, they are trying to move us toward a society where children can make decisions about sex.
Yeah.
So this is where it's going. And then on the same other side, they're taking away parental rights. So they're doing things within schools and they're saying parents should know. Even if your child in some states, I think Maryland is one, they can have an abortion and not tell the parents.
Absolutely.
So again, these are moves that they are making to make children make adult decisions and keep the parents out. And this is a major issue that we need to stand up against. This is what we try to do here, folks. And this is why we ask you guys, definitely hit that like button, subscribe if you